fashion.
Hey everybody, listen, this is Jekalyn Thomas from HeSpoke Fashion, and I'm here just to give you a stellar story. That's right, stellar as in Stellar Awards. I know you all are familiar with the Stellar Awards, and the 37th Annual Stellar Awards has been held already and will soon be aired. But before then, I want to share with you a short story from the HeSpoke Fashion Review. That's right. Now, I want to start off this story by sharing that our focus will be on this year's host. That's right, the host of this year, as many of you may or may not know, the host for this year's award show are none other than Jekalyn, Carr and Kierra Sheard. Of course, if you watched the show last year, then you know that Jekalyn is no stranger to hosting the show. However, I do believe this is Kierra's first time. Now, these amazing ladies are setting the stage for a great show, and I'm sure, just as other years, the performances will do as they've always done in ministering to the people as well as entertaining them. These amazing, that's right, amazing ladies are setting the stage for a great show. And I'm sure the performances, again, will do exactly what they've always done. But in this episode of HeSpoke Fashion, I want solely to focus, and not solely to be focused, on the fashion of the evening, but I'm going to make a statement, and some of you are not going to like it. I guarantee that some of you will want to tune me out or turn me off. But you know what? Please stay to the end, because I'm going to make this statement anyway. Are you guys ready? I believe that both Jekalyn Carr and Kierra Sheard represent gospel music better than most. And here's why. Now, how many of you would agree that representation is important? How you represent something will either make people want to join or to fight against you. Wouldn't you say that? But these ladies are not only doing a fine job in the way they represent gospel music by their passion and, you know what, their ability to minister through song, but how they represent the faith they sing about. That's what I'm talking about. How do they do it? Part of how they do it is through their fashion. Come on, hear me out. Both make a strong case for keeping the standards of doing the best you can and wearing the best that you can in representing your faith. How? Jay Bolin. Remember his name? Write it down. Get it tatted somewhere. Okay, let me stop. I'm just kidding about the tattoos. Nevertheless, but you seriously want to know him. Why? Well, because when you look at their fashion, and I'm talking about some serious fashion here. This guy, Jay Bolin, he is the wizard behind the curtain. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he is a stylist designer extraordinaire who's dressed just about everyone in the gospel music arena just here lately. He's done such a wonderful job with Jekalyn Carr in her fashion and style. And if there's one thing that I know about being a stylist and designer, and it is that your clients must be willing to take risk in fashion. And not only should they be able to take risks, but at the same time look great doing so. And I think Jekalyn and Kierra have done just that. Not only has Jekalyn done so in her music, but also in her fashion. Wouldn't you agree that she has really stepped up her fashion game over the last, few years? It is almost if she has gone through what I would call her own metamorphosis during the last few years. And in doing so, she has at least far exceeded my expectations. I would imagine that it is difficult somewhat for a young woman in this day and age that simply dares to be different, dares to be themselves and not coward to the status quo. With so much pressure to align yourself with the popular trend, maybe whatever that trend is at the time, in order to be accepted, is the reason why young ladies like Jekalyn should, in my opinion, be applauded. That's right. I think that they deserve a hand clap. That's right. And they should be applauded for their efforts to stand strong on their convictions. Not only is Jekalyn representing her generation, but so is Miss Kierra Sheard Kelly. If you didn't know, Kierra is the daughter of Bishop J. Sheard and gospel superstar Karen Sheard. And I would surmise that it must be a lot of pressure to do well when you have such a great and well-respected dynasty as the Clark sisters. I want to go on record. Come on, you can quote me on this. I want to go on record as saying that this dynasty is in good hands with Kierra Sheard Kelly. And you know what I really like about Kierra? Of course, I love her music. I love her voice. But it is the fact that she is unafraid to take a risk in fashion. Now take a look at this, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, this is our final look. We're about to wrap things up, and we're doing it in red, baby. Yeah. Looking fierce. Come on. Got a little Michael Costello moment happening right now. I absolutely love it, girl. You snatched up. You did so incredible tonight.
Thank you so much. It's because of y'all. Thank y'all for letting me look good. Yes.
Well, look at the rain. Look at the rain.
Okay.
Ooh, come on.
Look at the whole look.
I mean, it's just everything. The makeup, the lips, the hair, the everything. Where's my hair, people?
Come on, right here.
Come on, in the back. Makeup.
Hey.
Bam. Taylor.
Hey.
Bam.
Yes.
Miss Calabasas 2022.
Yes.
Our dope photographer here. Whole squad.
So you know that took a great amount of confidence to pull that outfit off. And the way she does it is both, as someone said during the video, both fierce and I'm going to add flawless. Wouldn't you agree? Now, I appreciate when a young woman can take outfits like this and they take the risk, but not be risque. So many in this younger generation, in my opinion, are confused and complex and even perplexed about what fashion journey they should take. With the likes of Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and the like behaving like this in this video with no shame. I may get in trouble for challenging the most obvious and accessible images of young black women today, which quite frankly is evidenced in this video of this youth-driven mainstream hip-hop. It may not be popular to do so, even when discussing gospel music. However, it is my opinion that young women like Jekalyn and Kierra seem to be well able and to be fit for the battle for the lives of our young women. It's a wonder that more of our young ladies haven't gone this way, following lockstep with them. And by them, I mean the likes of Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and Nicki Minaj. Left, right, and left, right, and left. Left, right, and left, right. Get in formation, that's what they said. But you know what? I like the road that Jekalyn and Kierra are on. I really like their journey. And I hope that many women will follow their journey, their pathway, so to speak. Why? Because I know that their journey has a better outcome. Now listen, I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. What I'm trying to share with you is that there is a difference between what you would consider classy and what would be considered classy, watch this, from a man's perspective. There's a lot to confront and unpack in this culture. And the use of negative words is one of them. Popular media and social media have come up with words that I would call disparaging to describe a particular section of our women. If you're not familiar with this term, the term BBW is often used to describe our plus-size women. And I'm glad that these young women are able to separate the two by their style and fashion. There's a good friend of mine, shout out to Marcus, would often say that if you don't want the title, then don't wear the label. I know what some of you are thinking because you don't think a curvy girl can be fashionable. But I beg to differ. Believe me, when you see Kierra, you don't even think of BBW as you do with, let's say, Lizzo. Her style suggests a classy, curvy girl who is to be respected and treated with dignity. Lizzo, on the other hand, of her own doing, has caused many to see her differently. It's all on her fault. Fellas, listen, can we be honest in this moment and share that there are things that we look at when we are determining who is wifey and who's girlfriend material? And let me tell you, girlfriends don't always turn out to be wifey. Now, is that your testimony? Have you always been the girlfriend, the bridesmaid, but never the bride? If that is you, then listen, don't turn me off. I don't want you to be ashamed, but what I want to is to share with you some things that could really change your status. What I really want to talk to you about is how these two women, for example, have done well in the gospel music industry and, in my opinion, thus far in life as well. Of course, as many of you know, Kiara Sheard. Now, come on, Jay Bolin did a great job with this. This is a beautiful look. This is just a side note. This is a beautiful look on her again. So shout out to Jay Bolin. But of course, many of you, if you didn't know, recently, Kierra married Jordan Kelly. You know, and they make a lovely couple. And you know what's wonderful about what I see in this relationship? And that is not just that they make a lovely couple and they fell in love with each other, but it seems and it appears, at least to me, that the family of Kiara Sheard fell in love with Jordan too. Now, let's check this out. He is matching her fly, so this is definitely HeSpoke Fashion approved. But listen, I want you to watch this little clip, and I bet you're going to agree with me that her family likes her husband as well. After this, look, AB, can you run that quick video for us?
Evangelist Kiara Sheard Kelly, my other son. Yeah, stand up so they'll see who you are. This is Kiara's husband, Brother Jordan Kelly. He's a fine young man. We don't call him son-in-law because my daddy used to say in-laws can become outlaws. And so we just call him son. And I'm so thankful. He's a fine young man. I couldn't have picked a better person for Kierra if I picked him myself. He has some, Mother Lewis, you have some other candidates, and one of the brothers came to me, and I just told him straight. I said, you can be my son, but you can't be my son-in-law. Y'all will get that later.
So you guys, you heard what Bishop Sheard said. Now, wouldn't you agree that just by his comments that he had a newfound appreciation for the man that found his daughter? You know, as a father of daughters, there's nothing like that moment when you can hand your daughter over to a man that you can trust to take care of her. That is why I believe that Jekalyn, Carr and Kiara Sheard better represent gospel music. Now, there are a few things I would like to share with you that I think will help you to understand why I said that they were doing better than most. Number one is they're able to understand that, watch this, fashion undergirds your message. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, what I mean is that no one would believe your message when your fashion says otherwise. your fashion must support the message you are attempting to convey. The deception is, in my opinion, that the devil has convinced some of the other gospel artists that their fashion has nothing to do with the message that they are trying to convey. And that's why the devil is selling more gospel music than God is. Okay, catch it. I know you don't like that, but some of your favorite gospel music artists have sold their souls to the enemy just to have success. And while many may gain the whole world, they may lose their soul. Number two is that they are not trying, these young ladies are not trying to prove to the secular world that they are like them, that they fit in, so to speak. And why is this important? It is important because it means, at least in my opinion, that they are standing on a firm foundation of what gospel music is, and then what gospel music should not be. In other words, although the music may get a little bit jazzy or funky or whatever you may want to call it, they're not trying to be like the secular artists and are willing to minister instead of simply providing entertainment alone. There was another gospel artist that I at one time believed was really interested in ministering more so than entertaining, but her messaging as of late has become, in my opinion, a bit convoluted. In that one moment, she's saying this, as it says here, you don't need the surgery, you're fine how you are, embrace yourself, love yourself as you are, surgery isn't bad, but why do you really need it? And she says that, and you get behind that message, but then there's another argument that she's been making about dressing appropriately, because some viewed her dress, and this being the dress of the era here, as inappropriate for someone who is ministering the gospel. Now, if you're going to make an argument about surgery and not needing that, couldn't the same be said about not needing a form-fitting dress to validate you as well? Now, I personally don't have anything against the dress, but I do understand those who may have a problem with the dress. But number three is that they are unapologetic concerning holiness. And what does this mean? It means there's no compromise when it pertains to the things of God. Now, this is one thing that we have gotten far from, in my opinion, during this new modern day gospel music era. And in our faith, we've gotten away from it as well. Now, I don't want to sound preachy, but it is what it is. This should be a question for you that I'm going to ask. Is it about entertainment or about sharing your relationship with God through music before his people? That's a question. Is it about one or the other? And some, I believe, have chosen the former, unfortunately. And we have allowed them to still come to our churches and minister without pause. And I, for one, disagree with that notion. You know, there is a life that has to be led with ministering the gospel through music. And I believe because these women have had strong influence and strong male role models, they were able to keep their footing on a strong foundation. That's right. I did point out that they had positive role models, and specifically male role models in their lives. And you know, I did that on purpose because I wanted to underscore the fact that in this current climate, even many in the church would have you to believe that the only people God chooses to use are those who had some sort of bad upbringing or horrific childhood. And that is far from the truth. God could have chosen to use several methods, even in order to birth his son into the world. But you know what he chose? A husband and a wife. You know what? I'm going to say it. I may get in trouble, but fathers should be applauded. If you agree with me, come on, put some numbers in the chat, put some likes, some hearts in the chat. But listen, fathers should be applauded. Even, listen, if your father was absent or wasn't a very good one, when you see that they are showing up even in someone else's life, they should be applauded. They should be applauded. And lastly, point number 4, and that is that they are comfortable in their own skin. And one thing that you have to count on, no matter where you are, no matter where you go, is your ability to be comfortable in who you are and comfortable in the skin that you're in. These ladies have shown time in and time again that they are confident in their own skin. No, Jekalyn Carr is not the tallest, and some may not consider Kierra as being what society tells us is the perfect 10. But that does not make her shy away from being bold and beautiful and fashionable as well. The Kellys are a couple to watch, and I'm here for it. Next on deck, we can only wait and see. But to all of the young women out there and the older women as well, let me leave you with this. Put in the effort for fashion because it is worth it. You know, it could really be setting you up for the best days of your life. As you can see with both Jekalyn and Kierra, their best days are ahead of them. Guys, listen, tell me what you think. Leave your questions and comments. And remember, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I really appreciate you all for watching. Please take time to follow us on Facebook. And if you really like this episode, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone. On YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the alert bell because you don't want to miss out when we go live. Remember, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I wish you a good life, good fashion, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. In the building. Yeah. Fashion.